Hello class, so here's a quick video on lists. Almost every section starting with chapter 3 is going to use lists. You're going to have to put a list into your calculator and then do things with that list, find the mean, find the mode, stuff like that. So here we go. The stat button right here is where you'll find your lists. As it comes up, it's already on edit, so you're just going to hit enter to go into the list menu. This will show you all your lists. You have list 1, list 2, list 3, list 4, list 5, list 6. So a couple things about these, just to enter numbers. So it's highlighted here on the first entry, so you can just put in a number. I don't know, like 21, hit enter. 23, put enter. 25, enter. 4, enter. You can put all the numbers in. Just put a bunch in. These are just random numbers. You can do all kinds of things with these numbers. So you can add them all up. You can multiply them by something. You can square them, all kinds of things. Let me show you some other things that happen with the lists, though. So if you entered, suppose this number 4 here was wrong, you want to take that out. If you hit delete right here, that'll take just that number out. All the other numbers will stay. You can also put that number back in, although I rarely use this, but you could hit second function and the delete button. Look up above the delete button, it says INS, that's insert. So if you hit that, then it would let you, it puts a 0 in there for you, and then you could change that number into a 4, put it back in. Sometimes students will accidentally delete an entire list. So the way we want to clear a list, if you want to get rid of all the numbers in the list, you don't want to clear them one at a time. You could go clear and get rid of those numbers, or delete and get rid of all those, but that takes forever. So if you want to get rid of the whole list at the same time, you want to put your cursor up here on L1, highlighting the entire list, and now hit clear, and then hit enter, and it'll get rid of all of those numbers at the same time. Now, what usually happens at the beginning of the semester, let me put some numbers back in here, is students will accidentally delete the entire list. This is pretty common. So if you're up on this list and instead of hitting clear to clear the list, you accidentally hit delete, that will get rid of the entire list 1. That list 1 is now gone. There's an easy way to get it back. So hit the stat button, go down here to setup editor and hit enter, and then hit enter again. It just says done, but what it did, if you go back into the stat menu under edit, you'll see that your list 1 is back. It even kept the numbers that were in there. So it's not really deleting it, it's just sort of hiding it. It is still there, but if you want to get that list back, that's the way you do that. Hit clear there. Suppose you have some numbers in a list. There's a lot of things you can do with these lists. These calculators are pretty powerful. If I wanted to take all of these numbers and say I wanted to multiply them all by 2 and put the answers into list 2, you can do all kinds of things with formulas, but the key is to make sure that you're highlighting list 2. So now that it says list 2, down here at the bottom it says L2 equals, and I can put any formula I want in down here to change these numbers. Suppose I wanted to multiply all these numbers, or suppose I wanted to square all of these numbers. That's actually a pretty common thing. So I would take and put in list 2, and I want to square, or list 1 and square it. So to put in a list 1, notice down here at the numbers up above all the regular numbers, you'll see list 1, list 2, list 3. So if I want to put in that list 1, I hit the second function first and the number 1, and that'll put in this L1. Again, remember, I'm up here on L2. I'm not in this first entry. That's the mistake most students make. So hit L1, and then if I wanted to square them, here's the squaring button. This looks like an x squared. Hit that and then hit enter, and it'll take all these numbers. 8 squared is 64, 6 squared is 36, 9 squared is 81. Suppose I wanted to take that list and, I don't know, add 5 to them, right? So I could go second function. I'm up here on L3. Second function and the number 2 puts in the name list 2. And suppose I wanted to add, what did I say, add 3 to all those numbers. L2 plus 3, hit enter. It'll take 64 and add 3, take 36 and add 3, and so on. If that's not the list I want, go up and highlight it, hit clear, get rid of it. Go up and highlight list 2, hit clear, get rid of that. So that's just a quick overview of lists. You're going to use lists a whole bunch in this class. So the more comfortable you get with that, the easier most of these homeworks will be. Okay, all right, have fun.